Zarco. Grabs third place, I think. He might get it on the flip-flop for second place. Oh, Marquez, round the outside from the third.
He hesitated into turn one, but he's obviously regretting that, so he's making up for it now.
Yeah, just beats up little Danny. That's no need. Has got it done. Perhaps the wrong tyre in the front of that bike in Australia last time. Left it to Maverick Vinales' team. Slightly harder compound front, and that did for him, really. Here comes Marquez up the inside of Dobby.
From a long way back. That was a Rossi learns from his mistakes, like you say. He's definitely got the right tyres in this weekend on race day.
20 laps and 68.8 miles. We're coming to the end of the first lap. There's Yannone. What's he got up his sleeve? Proxy. Yeah. By proxy, out went Yannone, and those two came together in practice, and that it was just that Yannone reacted so quickly and fell down on that off camber. So easy to do there. He started from pit lane. The Suzuki gets wheeled off down pit lane.
And what did I say on the grid? Sometimes when you're really nervous, you get if he just touched it, and that's why we call a sympathy crash. When someone has a moment in front of you, you react. The problem is he puts less stress through the tyres, Keith. When everybody's tyres are hanging with 5 laps to go, they diminish.
Look, the 26 right on the rear end of Dovizioso. If Danny's got the pace to stay with the leading,
that's what he does.
Mess the start up. Yeah, terrible.
And he's not aggressive on the first lap.
Talking of aggression, there's aggression that's breaking motorbikes, and Jack Miller wasn't able to get back up the inside of Marquez. So Marquez has made up on the race. What is it? It's the circuit record 2 minutes dead .606 by Jorge Lorenzo.
Believe that or not. And I think at that point, when Marc Marquez comes past you at this point in the race, why wouldn't
he sits this one out? He's got a smile on his face, but he's not underneath it. Oh, he wanted to be here, that's for sure. Japan is Alvaro Bautista.
And this is one of the disappointments, or one of the issues Yamaha have had. They say you can't outbrake. So here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Up the inside.
You've got to do this. It's like a block pass. Just take the line away. But now, do we see the Ducati?
To get back past Maverick at all there. So even though Maverick was a little offline and perhaps just a fraction slower than he's chipping away, he's put himself in a good place, isn't he? Getting himself from third row up to third place.
Slick. You know when you get out on the track, I know you was out on the track, it's smooth, isn't it? It's like a billiard table.
Looks like he was very lucky. That's a cool head, isn't it, Dobby? Yannone's reactions were just a little...
He's a second a lap too slow at the moment. He's currently 5.6 seconds behind the lead, Dobby and Vinales, and he currently sits in 9th place.
Vinales starting off the middle of the true race pace, and we've got a big change. I mean, it's the hottest it's been. This track has never been this hot this week so far. 3 in a row here before in the Premier class.
I can't criticise Vinales. Where he is, what can he hope for? A 5th? Disappointing, really, Keith.
Balance of that motorcycle. We were talking about that when Cal Crutchlow was riding it.
Yeah. Very, very sensitive. When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's horrid.
Yeah, it does seem that way. And horrid only has to be a fraction of a second off the pace, and that's his best thing on Sunday every time. And Valentino Rossi at the moment, if he had any disappointment, he'd got no more to go, because it used to be 18, but we joined in with Thailand.
Zarco's wide.
Marquez, bang, to put the fastest lap in has Zarco, and that might be why he was pushing really hard. We're at the end of the lap. This is turn 15. Nothing to do with me. I can't remember.
There's one thing, both riders know where you can pass on this circuit.
Danny, well, we know he's good. We know he's good round here. It's just a question of motivation, really, isn't it? He's just slipped himself.
Yeah, absolutely, literally, actually.
Yeah, his bike was on fire.
On Thursday, I don't know if you saw that on any social media. His
damage apparently looked terrible.
I'm going to say, which is hard to believe, because it was a proper barbecue.
Well, I think the thing when they say don't do too much damage. So,
Rins, this is a lunge.
Wow. It's a corner you can do that on. Now then, what Valentino Rossi needs is a Frenchman to mess around with Marc. And 14 laps to go. Look at Marc, stands it up on the hill as it is, that camber that you've got there. Stand on the Honda.
And Rossi is metronomic. 2 minutes 1 zeros.
Literally Pirro is down.
15, last corner.
Yep, so easy to do there. They've got a bit of a bike on fire, so he fell off in FP3 at that very same spot. He's done it again in the race. So that factory, Desmos Adichie. Big Ella, Michele Pirro is down.
15, last corner.
Yep, so easy to do there. Pirro fell off the bike when he came to play in FP3 at that very same spot. He's done it again in the race.
Come look at Rins. He can pass at will wherever he wants to, Keith.
That Suzuki just seems to turn, doesn't it?
It's Valentino Rossi. The problem is he's 6 seconds behind.
Rossi. 25-year-old up behind you right now. And the water drained away to the outside. Used to be a swimming pool there whenever it rained, and they couldn't drain it, so this place drains pretty well.
Valentino Rossi's joint second in the championship with 1 round to go. Not bad, for a 39-year-old.
Last win. So Phillip Island came as a great
Something to lose. He needs another win. He'll do whatever it takes. Marquez, the championship's sewn up. He's going to
threaten his French head, trying to work out where it had all gone.
Yeah.
But it's back now.
Yeah, middle of the year, it was...
I say, Valentino Rossi looks so incredibly composed. Wheels in line, that'll be saving tyre.
Yeah. Normally, this man's approach is to always create maximum pressure.
Although the later Mark keep the tyres with him as well for a last few laps push over Valentino Rossi. We'll wait and see. It launches I've seen the Italian ever make. Then it was Jack Miller forcing up the inside of the Suzuki. I left the rest to scrap for the bits left over. Zarco round the outside. Well, we look at the rear end of Miller, quite literally.
Is he going to be able to out? Vignales crashed FP4 when he came around the corner on slicks on a perfectly dry track. Came around the 55 miles an hour. Oh, is this gap getting bigger?
Well, it was 6/10 last. He's been yes, because that off
again. 2 minutes 1.0, just a lower one. Brilliant.
Tyres late on. Can't see him getting onto turns with these guys. Rins is fifth. The Vizioso in 7th. Malaysian Grand Prix. First time we've ever had a local man in a Premier class here. Simeon's gone ahead of him now. With no disrespect to Simeon, Simeon had the best qualifying.
In Petrucci, look at that. So we knew he was 23rd on the grid, but I mean, we need to see.
Played only on 1 point. Shirene's in 11th place.
Rossi's pulling it. We've had a bit of everything. We've had some cracking races. We've had some incredible saves. We've had some memorable moments.
This will be a good ride from Johann Zarco if he can make that work. Only 7th in the championship at the moment. He was second.
That's as good as it pretty much...
yeah. On a 3.44 mile technical track like that here, plus the heat, plus the age, plus the track, and what you always get is...
Now for 20 minutes, but it's like working out in a sauna with your leathers, helmets, boots, gloves, helmet on, visor. Someone walks into the sauna with a bat and smashes you around the back of the head, because that's what it feels.
And 1.1 seconds between Rossi and Marquez now. Valentino Rossi is easy like the man he usually is.
No, and that is what happens at this track sometimes if your setting's not right, if you are...
Down to there, Maverick was able to make the pass on the brakes, and you just wouldn't expect that. The Ducati and the Vizioso here, 26 of Danny Pedrosa. It's a good ride from Danny. So Danny Pedrosa, the real one, is France, 5th place in our
season for him, Danny. He announced his retirement.
And when you're that late though, and the Honda, if it hooked up, he could have perhaps made that blast up the hill, but he didn't.
Feels heavier each lap.
Stefan Bradl deputising for Cal Crutchlow has just moved into the point. I don't know whether you'll be able to see the camber from the onboard camera, but you can certainly see it from there. Zarco, what was the gap at the line? It was extended by another 10.
Yeah.
This is going to be probably the sweetest win that Valentino Rossi's had.
He said that in an interview, didn't he, earlier, saying, look, if I'd already won 11 World Championships, I'd still be racing now.
This Honda is a bit of a handful.
What I feel with Marquez, you can't give him, and Valentino knows him down.
He'll take the opportunity, perhaps, if he gets close enough. Again, that potty is trying to get in here. There's his wife, sat in the back of the garage, keeping an eye on the Malaysian. Never seen anything like it. He was crying before he came to the grid. That you don't often see. I've seen it.
10th of a second slower than he has been going, which obviously at this point in the race is very, very little, but Marquez could switch and it could rain.
Not only that, but you also find that the track is now got in front of Pedrosa. So Vignales has come from virtually nowhere and has come up to 5th place. Few laps for you. Marquez, but now you've got Marquez, that sniff that Hodgie was on about. I think he's 1.187. You can't give that amount away to this man because
striking distance, he will let the brake off. He will dive for that inside.
0.8 now, so again, Johann Zarco and rip that podium position out of his hands. Meanwhile,
he knows how to do that. That's one thing. It's all those years, and it's on tracks like this.
Wow. Wait till we see that again. It'll make us jump the second time, I'm sure.
But potentially the person who can take that title off him. And these are two masters off the bike. They're having fun, aren't they, Keith? Still at 39, Rossi's, you never seen not smile.
At this level, having done all the things that Valentino Rossi has done, earned all the money.
7 with 5 laps to go.
He's grabbed a 10th back out of him, Marquez has. Back down, is beginning to...
delaminate on the dry part of the tyre. There's some big patches, yes?
Yeah. But I said earlier on, this bike He seems to be all wheels in line. He's not spinning it quite as much.
It's laying rubber. And it's at that point on the tyre where he didn't colour all the way around it.
Turn 10 and 11, that kills the tyre as well when we get to this stage of the race. Back straight. Marquez is really getting closed in now. It was 0.743 at the line last time.
Up for 4 laps now. Oh, Marquez can't get it stopped. He did though.
Yeah, he uses a lot of back brake as well. So Valentino Rossi, he'll know what his lap times are. They'll be on his dashboard. He'll know where. Oh no! Rossi's got. Marquez will take that lead. Valentino Rossi has crashed out of the Malaysian Grand Prix just as he tapped it in. His back tyre looks in reasonable condition, but down he has gone. He wasn't on the bike running, just pushing it down through the gearbox. Marquez will take that lead. Valentino's commentary box, the rear end let go from him there then, just as he tapped it in. His back tyre 18. I can almost hear the footprints of people stomping to the gates now.
But every corner he's going round, that thing's certainly on the front was pushing.
Yeah, 5 seconds to Zarco. It's been slowly coming down, although the last lap it came down by half a second. Maverick is the man that's behind Marquez now, +4 it says. And that's about Alvaro Bautista on his own bike this week, of course, not riding Lorenzo's Desmosedici.
Just spec a bike, it's the level of his team. Level of his team as well. Yeah. It's not as high as the other ones.
Marquez as it went round then, I was
proper chunks are out of that tyre.
I was trying to look at Valentino's.
That's
close.
Too close.
Perhaps Michelin will be fingers crossed, and we were here.
We'll have a lot of information. I think because they've got so much information, they've probably allowed themselves to go closer.
Yeah, 2 laps to go. Marquez is already well up the road by some 3 point. He's rolled it out. 3.8 seconds come to play as well, but I think we're going to run out of laps for Vinales, who's back in 4th place from that absolutely awful opening lap. It's beginning to cross my fingers, if I may, at the moment, because I'm worried for that tyre at Marquez, because if it goes pop red out the middle of it, but right now Marquez is right on the limit of that tyre. He's lucky he's only got a lap and a half to go.
And then just doesn't seem to go wide. This is such an important race for this year. Being critical, they've slightly underperformed, but a lot of that comes down to Mika Kallio.
He leapfrogs 3 riders in the championship. That makes a big deal from a payment point of view.
Yeah, absolutely. What I'd call.
Suzuki lose their concessions next year as well. They need as much money as they can to pump into the... He knows it. Zarco's been pushed out. So Marquez leads by 3.3 seconds from Alex Tower down the back straight, I've got a feel, and it's going to be a turn 15. We could see Vinales finish on the podium after.
Yeah, it looks like Rins has just got enough. I feel like Rins has got more than enough.
Yeah, Rins
has got more tyre, hasn't he? You can just see that. He just hooked up and turns.
Yeah, he's pulled well away. Look how champion, of course, and with Valentino Rossi falling out of this race down at turn 1, the last second place goes to Alex Rins from Johan Zarco in 3rd. Vinales gets 4th, and we wait a while. Job and stone last on the grid. Poor qualifying, great race for the young Malaysian.
He was a standing rider at the start of the season. He was supposed, Jonas Folger. He took Jonas Folger.